Hello, this is Lore Master Bernard, and this is World Building Wednesday. So basically, I'm just going to be making like some information for like a location for, you know, to use in, a science fiction or fantasy tale. I think I'm going to stick with fantasy for the time being, actually. Um, but yeah, so um, basically, we'll start with gonna turn up this font size. That's for sure. Um, Actually, I think I need to bring down this view size a bit. Um, Let me just see. Just seeing what it looks like on the stream. Okay, it looks okay. Like actually, I'm gonna just change the size of the chat box a little bit. Just a little bit smaller, I think. Okay, that'll do. Now, let's see. So last time I did this, I made a like an island. Uh, I made an island with a village of tieflings and a few different locations. Um, but let's see. Okay, so um, let's see. Okay, we did an island before. Um, how about we do? Trying to think here. Okay. Where did I put my dice? I really need to leave my dice on my desk. Okay, I got some dice here. All right. Um. So let's see. One of the things I'm going to do is. All right. So let's see. Hmm. Okay, let's choose whether this is like. Let's say I did an island before. How about like a desert? Yes. So yeah, we'll start with a desert. So biome, desert. Um, let's see. And let's see. How many locations? I'm gonna say I'm gonna roll a d6 plus 1. 4, so a total of 5 locations. So, locations 5. Okay, now the question, like, hmm. I'm doing this a little differently than the last time I did this, but, bum 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 bum. Let me think. Uh, okay, do we want this place to be inhabited? I mean, yeah, that probably makes it more interesting. And like a lot of places are just inhabited. Um, okay, let's decide if it's like what level is inhabited. Is it very like is it heavily inhabited? Like like um is this actually a metropolis that's just set next to a desert like, Dubai or something? Or is this sparsely populated with only like a few, like maybe a couple, maybe a group or two or scattered individuals? I think I'm gonna roll a d6 for this. One will be like minimal inhabitation. Six will be like a metropolis. I got a 6. Okay. Um. All right. Huh. Interesting. Hmm. All right. Let me think here. Um. Hmm. Just really quick, I actually have a drink in front of me which I'm going to move because I've had bad luck with drinks in the recent past being right in front of me, so I'm going to put it off to the side where it can't do as much harm. Um, okay, so habitation very high, so yeah, maybe this is like a desert metropolis. Um, okay. Um, hmm. Gotta do at least 5 locations though. Maybe they're just locations in the city or in and around. Um, let's see. What would be like um let's see. Hmm. What about like is there something what's special about it? Like is it, you know, uh actually give me a moment. I just want to double check something. Okay. But okay, so what's like why do people live here? Um okay. So all right. Well, what are the main people who live here? Like uh what's the dominant, what's the dominant group? So for as it were, um, I'm gonna base this off of like Pathfinder and D&D again. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to roll a d4. Um, and one will be races from the core rulebook. Um, 2, 3, and 4 will be um, 2, 3, and I'm sorry. No. Not 4? Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a d6. Um, 1 and 2 will be core rulebook races. 3 and 4 will be featured races from the Advanced Race Guide. 5 and 6 will be uncommon races from the Advanced Race Guide. So let me see here. 2, okay, so core rulebook races, of which there are 7. So I will roll a d8, and it'll be in order for what's listed on the Pathfinder core rulebook. That's weird. I'm seeing like welcome to the chat room, but then there's no actual person in the chat room yet. Odd. Gonna refresh my view of the stream. Odd. Okay. Anyway, so let's see here. If I roll an 8, it'll be one of the core races, but I'm gonna go into the advanced race guide and pick one of the alternative like subgroups that they have. I rolled a 5, so the 5th race is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half orcs. Okay. Okay. Weird. Why does it say someone entered the chat room, but... Or wait, is it like... I'm confused. Twitch is acting weird. Anyway, alright, so let me think here. So like a desert metropolis of half orcs, huh? Alright. So like main, or okay, so major points of interest, metropolis, which I'll have to name. I mean, there has to be a reason this metropolis exists here. Okay, is this metropolis new or old? Like, relatively speaking. I'm just gonna roll a d6. Odds new, evens old. 6, so evens. Old city. Okay, so if the metropolis is old, then maybe it existed here before the half-orcs began to inhabit it, or maybe like the half-orcs have lived here so long that like it's trying to think here. Maybe the half-orcs have lived here so long that the resource that it was originally built upon has dried up. Maybe it's just in a very good trade route position. Like maybe yeah, it's like in the middle of a desert, but like it's technically the easiest. It's technically the quickest route between other like places, and the metropolis has grown to the size it has because that makes it easier on the people from other places to travel. Like maybe it's actually weirdly like how to put this maybe like the metropolis is weirdly shaped like an outreaching sort of almost like a star reaching out from the center, these like spindles of the city essentially reaching out, uh, like narrow but uh, built high and strong, essentially, um, to be protect the protect along what used to be just like a trade route, but now is um, like it used to just be like a path but now it's like but now it's like well protected roads that run all the way from one end of this like city state to another. Yeah. Okay, also let's mark that down. That's a city state. City state, weirdly shaped, uh, to protect trade routes. Okay, so other point of interest, trade routes. Um, Fastest routes between other places. But in the past, the desert was more. No. I'll say the desert is still dangerous. Um, but the metropolis. Uh, let's just say that. Okay, so trade routes. Major points of interest. Um, let's say there's probably also like let's see. So most likely, there has to be something else. Like, I'm imagining that deserts aren't always just sand. Maybe like this is a desert valley between like some different groups of mountains or something. Uh, yeah. So let's say mountains. Um, I'm actually getting an idea for like mountain inhabitants because not everybody wants to live in a city. So inhabited by inhabited by individuals and groups that don't want to live in the metropolis. Hmm. So yeah. Okay. We'll come back to that later. But also probably there's probably also a quarry for all the stone that had to be, you know, uh, maybe there's actually been multiple quarries. Like maybe the stone, maybe like the mountains have been significantly changed in a couple places. Quarry slash quarries. Um, s- Sites where the mountains were mined for the stone needed to build the metropolis. Okay, interesting. Um, Specific locations though we need. So these are points of interest, not locations. Um, I keep getting this welcome to the chat room thing in the chat. Like, you can't see it actually on the stream, but it just keeps saying welcome to the chat room. I wonder if I like type something in there, it'll stop. There. There. Hopefully now it'll stop. It was just getting weird. But, okay. Let's actually start to, like, okay, so locations. The metropolis. Let's actually, I'm going to determine, like, what kind of language I want to, what language I want to use to base for the names. What language do I want to use as a base for the names? Let me go and have my handy dandy behind the name website, which I mean, it's not mine, but like I use it when for all of my naming needs. Behind the name is really great. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. Could you imagine? But I really enjoy them. I've been using them for a while. They've got a huge catalog of names based on their origins. And they even have like names from mythology, like, and they've got and also like ancient and medieval names, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Maybe like Egyptian names? Oh no, the welcome to the chat room thing is still happening. Weird. Oh well. Ancient Egyptian names, like, would be fine. There's not that many, of course. But we could use them as a basis for... We could use them just as a basis and make, like, relatively... You know... We make them relatively, like, ancient Egyptian sounding. I know that... Okay. Anyway. So the metropolis. Let me see here. I'm actually gonna look up ancient Egyptian cities. Ancient Egyptian city name generator? What? Oh, Fantasy Name Generator has this? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Fantasy Name Generator has, like, fantasynamegenerators.com has a ridiculously high amount of generators at this point. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see here. The list I got to start with is Kisafu, Tepnonis, Napsumeru, Ashbisa, Hebsanet, Besaimar, Mentuzma, Farmaset, Setbutenu, and Nebmathis. Um, hmm. I kind of like Kisafu. Kisafu sounds good. I'm just gonna look up to make sure that's not an actual thing. Um, no. No, I don't think so. It looks like there might be a restaurant name there in somewhere. I can't quite see. Hmm. But Kisafu sounds good. Let's use that as a name for the moment. Um, Sorry, I had to take a drink there. Um, but anyway, Kisafu will do for now. Okay, so Kisafu is um, a huge city-state. Okay, so we have to determine, was it built by the half-orcs or is it just being inhabited? Maybe, like, I would imagine, like, if it's been built up like this, then it's probably just been built by the half-orcs. But that means it's been around for a while. A huge city-state constructed by the uh, half-orcs, which we probably should go into more details about the half-orcs themselves, actually, before we go further on this. Okay. Um, okay, so group name. Let's see. Maybe just Kisafan? At this point, they probably would know themselves. Okay, so I guess the question is, do they refer to themselves more as, like, do they identify with the city or with something else? Like, with the city, with something near, or with something far away. So I'm going to do a d6 roll again. Um, where would the... Oh, hello, Ruckus Adventures. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat. Um, where would the Kobold's Keeper we be, or the Orc Town of Bears? This isn't, this I guess I have no idea. Like, are there any deserts on? I forget. I forget where the continent is that the campaign you're running takes place on, technically, or was, considering that we went to the abyss. Um, but I don't know. Like, I guess, like, they could be far off places, or there's that welcome to the chat room thing again. So yeah, I'm not sure where it would be in relation to in relation to those places, unfortunately. Maybe like I mean, maybe like because this place is run by half orcs, um, take that as you will. I won't say too much about it, but stick it like if you stick it in your world, you could say like, oh, like it's a really unusual place because it's so orderly and well protected, and like tourists and whatever are well treated because the trade routes are really important. Um, but at the same time, it could be like, oh, these half orcs, they're very representative of their people. Obviously they have one of the most well protected city states and uh, in the world. Of course, they're utilizing these trade routes so well. Tourism and bears would be interesting. Agreed. Um, although War Chief did say, you know, our War Chief did say like that there would be a water slide, didn't she? So like obviously that'll bring the tourists in. Um, okay, so I'm gonna roll a d6 again. 3. So let's see. Okay, so I say they do associate themselves with the city, but also they associate themselves with something else. So, maybe they are the Kisafun after on stream on. Okay, thanks for dropping in. Good to see ya. Hope to talk to you again soon. Bye bye. Well, look at that. We got some chat in there. Okay. Anyway, so maybe they're like Kasafun hyphenated something else or half orcs. Um, so Kisafun, like they're originally from like another group, but they are differentiated because they come from this city because it's been here a while and they've changed a little bit. Like maybe some traditions are different. Um, so they're like a breakaway or a subset or something. So I'm actually going to use the Egyptian town names generator again, and let me see here. Um, so Kisa, let's see. Um, Kisafu, Tapnonis, Napsumeru, Ashbisa, Hebsanet, Besimar, maybe Kisafun, uh, let's see. How about Kisafun Besimar? That seems a little long. How about Kisafun Ash Ashbisa? Or how about like Kisafun Baser? Um, yes, the Kisafun Baser half orcs. Like they're differentiated from their original culture, the Baser, um, which is a little complicated, but it's interesting. Um, okay, so originally, Okay. Founded by half-orcs of the Besair culture. The Kisafun Besair are here, have become somewhat different from their cousins. Um, uh, they share some traditional. They share some values, but after generations in this, after generations of uh, life in the metropolis of Kisafu, who excuse me. They most prize shush Google Docs. They most prize prize twice. Let's see. What do they most prize? They would probably most prize like service to the community. A merchant's guile. And a soldier's endurance? Question mark? Okay, so what they most prize are service to the community, merchants, guns, soldiers, endurance. I might change that. It's sort of just a baseline, a skeleton of what this could be. But yeah, anyway, okay, so Kisafu, the metropolis, by the half-orcs, which would become the Kisafu Besair let's clarify something. Constructed over time, because this metropolis wasn't built like overnight or anything. That would be crazy. Expanded in bursts, or expanded in stages to eventually encompass the majority of the trade routes the majority of the length of the trade routes. It's through this desert. The city has had to endure attacks from both from both people and beasts. Okay, so Kisafu, the metropolis. So, so the metropolis is a location in and of itself. Like, is it more like a meta location? Should the locations be inside the city? That kind of makes more sense, I guess. Why do I keep getting this welcome to the chat room thing when nobody is actually in the chat room? I don't understand. Hmm. Anyway. Let me think here. So let's have three meta locations. So Kisafu, which actually, hold on. Gonna put that down there. There we go. So what is the desert itself called? Is it like just called is it related to the Kisafu name? All right. I'm gonna roll a die again. So let's see. Whether it's related to the name. Okay. Shares the name, related to the name, not related to the name. Okay, so I rolled a 5, so not related to the name. So the desert. And also I'm going to put down here the mountains. All right, so I'm actually gonna use the Egyptian name thing again. Kamusi Depiut Fakisiris, Clisso Metanet Heno Ebnesiris Hebnothis Chebisiris Edvatenu. Amsusirius? Amsu. Amsu sounds good. Amsu, the desert. And what about the mountains? The mountains probably wouldn't have the same name. I'm gonna say, well, the mountains would all have if this is a desert between a couple sets of mountains, the mountains would have a couple possibly different names. I'm thinking of all this in a vague way. I'm not making a map or anything. Um, let's say that there are, well, like the city radiates out like a star, so there's probably like a few different entrances to this desert. Uh, let's say that, okay. Um, so let me think here. Bum, bum. All right, I am going to roll a. I'm going to roll a d4. I'm going to add 2 to my roll, and that's going to determine the number of like that's going to determine the number of like essentially mountain ranges there are. I know that sounds kind of weird, but okay, here we go. I rolled a 2, so there are 4 distinct mountain ranges. I don't know if that makes any geographical sense, but whatever. Um, um, okay, so how about we just call this the encircling mountains. Um, and we'll say that. Actually, you know what? We'll call them the encircling mountains is a decent name actually. Let's call it 4 mountain passes lead into ooh, the Amsu Desert. Uh, once uh, once barren and only traveled by risk takers or outlaws. Oh, excuse me. Oh no, here comes another one. uh, excuse me. Goodness. Um, um, uh, the passes are now controlled and protected by the Kisafu Besair half-orcs. By the city-state of Kisafu Besair. Because like a metropolis is gonna have more than just half-orcs, obviously. They're just like the founding and dominant like socioeconomic group. Um, culture also like cultural group, I guess you could say. Okay. So let's see. Um, so the Amsu Desert. Um, all right. So bordered on all sides by the encircling mountains. This desert can be harsh and dangerous. While the city-state of Kisafu, I'm sorry, I was rewriting that. While the city-state of Kisafu has created an enormous enormous area protected by its soldiers. There's wild wild animals and mountain dwelling brigands still threaten the vast dunes. Okay, so so I said 5 locations, but this has kind of become a bit different because of the metropolis. So let's consider the metropolis, the desert, and the mountains like their own areas. Alright, so we can get rid of the locations 5 bit, I guess, because that doesn't really work now. Okay, so let's at least I'm gonna roll a D. I'm gonna roll a D4 for each of these like areas. So let's see. The metropolis gets 4. That tracks. Okay, so location 1, location 2, location 3, location 4. Okay, so alright, so a metropolis. Probably first location we should put down is like, what is the center of power here? Who is in charge? So, like, what kind of government does this place have? Okay, instead of locations, we're gonna put areas. Okay, so first of all, let's figure out the government, because that'll probably determine a couple things. Like, are we gonna have a palace, or are we gonna have like a Are we going to have like a council, like like a seat of the council? Are we going to have like, is this like a military led thing? Um, so hold on. Let's see. Hmm. Um, this sounds to me like okay. Okay, so the main ones I can think of are like this sounds very structured. So my thoughts are it's either like it's a meritocratic. I think it's probably meritocratic. Like I don't think this would be a theocracy. That doesn't sound right to me. So it's probably either a um it's either possibly democratic or hmm let's see. Let me think here. Okay, first off, I will roll. I'm gonna roll for this. Yeah. So let's see. What are the types I can think of? So democratic, um, monarchical, uh, democratic, monarchical, um, or or like military. Democratic, monarchical, or military. I think those three are. Well, maybe also like plutocratic. Run by the wealthy. Yeah, we'll do those four. So democratic, monarchical, military, plutocratic. Rolling a d4. So 3, it's military. But now that I say that, it actually doesn't sound great. Maybe like the military has equal power to city governance. Maybe it's a maybe it's a diarchy. Like there's two head people, one for actually like city administration and one for the military, but they hold like equal but not absolute power. So but that would be kind of weird. Maybe a triarchy with like a tiebreaker essentially, like a council of 3. But then what is the third one in charge of? Military, administration, military, like city administration, and what would the third one be? Um, Maybe the third one is a priest or something. But a priest of whom? Hmm. A priest of whom? Maybe like the god of cities or trade? I mean, that sounds reasonable. Okay, so let's call it a triarchy. Um, Also, I'm gonna just do this real quick. Power is held by a council of 3 arms of the government, and the military, the administration, and the greater priesthood. So like maybe not just one god, but like all of the recognized priests who elect a representative, essentially. That would be kind of cool. Um, it's like, okay, like you like so like remember, like you are a priest of this, but you are representing all of the temples. So it has to be someone that everyone agrees on. Yeah, that would make sense. Um, yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Held by a council of 3 arms of the government, the military, the administration, and the greater priesthood. Um, so each leader uh, handles their own area of concern, but the council uh, meets to discuss matters of importance that affect the city state as a whole. Oops, I used the wrong effect. Affect, not effect. Can't believe I did that. Embarrassing. Okay. Let me see here. All right. We don't need to go into like the description of like the members of the government just yet. Let's work on the locations for the moment. Okay, so let's say like council chambers. Probably like there is a central building where they all like take residence and like they all reside and work there. That makes sense. Um, Probably the one who is there the least might be the military leader, because they probably have to go out and handle city defense from time to time. Um, Although I'm sure they have a number of very reliable, lieutenants or whatever. Pardon me, I had to. Ugh, excuse me. I had to do a stretch and yawn. Okay. So let's just call them the council chambers for the moment, or council chambers slash building. Location number 2. There's got to be a marketplace or multiple marketplaces. For a metropolis, like you need multiple. But let's say like largest marketplace. Location number 3. Um, let's call it the let's call location 3 the let's see. Let's call location 3. Should we make it like the largest tavern? Largest tavern. And location 4. What should that be? This is a place of commerce. So probably, I wonder, like maybe the other nations have permanent embassies here to keep to keep this city state positive towards them, so they don't stop their caravans and stuff. Um, so maybe the embassy district. We'll come back to that. All right. Let's start with the council chamber slash building. Okay. Um, uh, built on so expanded from the original keep constructed by the ancestors of the Gisafun Beser. This large complex is both the workplace of the council as well as their home. Or as well as their living space. Um, um, Additionally, meeting rooms and other such spaces were constructed to allow for to be rented by visiting or permanent ambassador by visiting or permanent ambassadors or maybe I just put outsiders for now. That seems like does that make sense? I'll come back to that. Okay, so the largest marketplace. As a center of okay, so as the metropolis was literally built around trade trade routes, this marketplace has goods from both the local population and nations both near and far. Does it make sense? Like, if it's kind of like weirdly shaped and spindly, though, would it make more sense that like essentially the marketplace runs all throughout? Um, Maybe it doesn't run all throughout, but it's like the marketplace becomes more like essentially the businesses become more condensed closer to the center. Um, while not a specific, well, not a centralized location, it mm, um, the businesses cling to the closest, cling together closer to the center of the city. I might come back to that. Might edit that. Largest tavern. Um, um, a tavern with a long history with the city. It has been destroyed multiple times, but always rebuilt, well, bigger and better than before. A wall with a wall inside proudly displays the history of the tavern along with all of its past and present owners. That sounds pretty cool. Embassy District? Embassy District. Maybe not a... Maybe there wouldn't be an Embassy District. Maybe there would only be, like, a small separate area within, like, the council, like the grounds of the council building, the council complex, whatever I would call it. So maybe we change that. Along with the maybe the council building is like a fortress essentially, but then we need a fourth location. Um, maybe there is like hmm. Okay, what would be something really special about this place? Like not just a great big city. Okay, what if there is, say, um, all right. Um, Let me think here. A special location. What if like there was okay, so obviously like in fantasy a lot of desert cities have like, oases and stuff, sources of water that makes them like that they center around. Um, so what if this place didn't have like an oasis necessarily? Um, what if they made an oasis? Um, they realized, hey, like our usual ways of like, or maybe there was an oasis, but like it was not going to be enough at some point, and so they're like, okay, so what do we do with this? And they thought like, okay, well, what if we, um, what if we, uh, oh, maybe that's why there is a priest on the council because they went to like the priest and like, hey, so we'll offer you. Maybe it used to be a diarchy, became a triarchy, because they went to the priest and they were like, "Hey, so we're gonna need more water and other magical stuff, and you know, we don't have much in the way of mages that aren't combat mages, so." Like you can perform sort of mini miracles. Can you just conjure up rain, but only over like a reservoir or something that we build, and and we can like make it so that the water, is controlled by us, but also like we'll. Oh crap! I just scattered some dice on the floor. I will get them in a bit. But okay, so location for um, the uh, artificial oasis. While there originally was a small oasis that the that the that the city state was originally settled around, and eventually the needs for water outgrew this resource. In exchange for the creation of uh, the greater priesthood's seat on the council, the priests of each as a group contribute to the magical replenishing of this new water source. Constructed nearby the council complex? Question mark. This large structure constructed nearby the council complex. This large structure with aqueducts. Is that not how you spell aqueducts? How do you spell aqueducts? Oh, it's with an E? I didn't know that. Aqueducts. This large structure has aqueducts carrying water far from the center of Kisafu to its extremities. Almost like it's like the arms of a starfish almost. So that's, oh yeah, I like that. I like that. That explains why there's a priest on the council. Nice. But also, they probably were like, okay, well, we don't want any one priesthood to get too powerful. So we'll make it so that you have to elect the representative for all the priests from amongst all of you. So, you know, and probably that way they actually get like someone who is fairly neutral a lot. I would imagine that like if this was a Pathfinder, if this was a thing in Pathfinder, I would imagine that like they get a lot of probably like a lot of like most of the people elected to that position from the priests, from like the clerics would be, like clerics of like Sarenrae, the sun goddess, or maybe even Pharasma, um, the goddess of death. Which, for those of you who don't know, that doesn't mean that she is, a bad person. That just means that the she oversees the transfer of souls from life into the afterlife, and um, she is like neutral, like completely neutral. She's not good, she's not bad, she's not lawful, she's not chaotic. She just oversees, she oversees the process of a soul moving from life to where they're supposed to be in the afterlife. Whether like they are going to one of the good planes or one of the bad planes, or even on occasion like the neutral, or even on occasion like one of the neutral planes, ac- like uh like Axiom or the Maelstrom for Pathfinder, which would be uh I think Mechanus, or I don't know what the chaotic plane is for like D&D. Anyway, so this will need to be cleaned up, but I like the work that has come into it so far. So, I know that this is supposed to go on until this stream is technically supposed to go till 5. Um, but I might end it a little early just because there's a phone call I actually really need to make. Let me think. I'll try and make. I'll determine at least. Oh, one of the die I lost was my D4. So excuse me. I need to move a little bit and actually grab my dice off the floor. Okay, I've gotten my dice. All right, so 1d4 locations for the desert. So that is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2. So 2 locations. Alright, 2 locations within the untamed desert. I would think. There's an idea that pops into my head from this is gonna sound odd. There's an idea I have from an episode of original Dragon Ball that I watched, which featured Kid Goku going to a desert, and there was a legend of a wandering oasis because the guy he was there to help, his people really needed water, and he'd actually gone to compete in the same fighting tournament as Goku because he needed the money to buy water. I don't remember the full details, but I remember the thing about the Wandering Oasis. So why not have that? Why not have a Wandering Oasis? So the Wandering Oasis. I hope that's not I'm gonna look that up if that's like Wandering Oasis. Uh, is this like a trope? Hmm. Hmm. Okay, it's not a trope itself, but okay. So the Wandering Oasis. This mysterious phenomenon uh, has been observed for centuries. On occasion, an oasis has been encountered by travelers where none seemingly existed before. Or on trying, uh, when trying to once again find said oasis, yes, the location uh, has seemingly vanished without a trace. Size and details vary, but the water is always clear and cool. And while wild animals may be present and at present they are never immediately hostile oh, to oh, to they are never immediately hostile. So maybe you do something with that, like someone tries to pay your venturing party or whatever. Like they try to pay people, like, hey, like we got a report of the wandering desert, like in this direction. Go see if you can find it. Or maybe like the wandering oasis has suddenly appeared in the city, and it's like someone's house is now like the interior has turned into an oasis or something, uh, and um, or you know there's all sorts of stuff you could do with that, but it's cool. um, so the second location within the desert, maybe there are ruins. That seems a bit expected, though. Like a desert should have ruins. Um, um, maybe instead of that, like within the desert, there is. Hmm. Okay, let's decide if it's ancient or let's decide if it's old or new. So odds, old, evens, new. Okay, so two, so evens. So a new thing that's in the desert instead of in the city. Why would that be? Maybe it's a wizard's tower? Yeah, like somewhat close to the city, but far enough away that anything that happens isn't going to affect the immediate populace. So, wizard's tower.
or let's just call it an arcane tower. Constructed in recent years to serve as the location of an arcane practitioner or without out potentially threatening the people of Kisafu. Maybe we can expand on that next time. Um, okay. But you know what? I think I'm actually gonna call it here because I do need to make that phone call. I didn't wasn't quite expecting it, but I do need to make it. But I think we made a lot of progress, and I look forward to further expanding on this next time. Well, I wrote like this is a lot of stuff. Like I really like this. I might actually throw this into my own campaign world somewhere. Um, so yeah, this looks cool. Um, Okay. So yeah, I'm Lore Master Bernard. This has been World Building Wednesday. I really enjoyed this, and I hope that if you watch this, that like you found something useful from the way I do this, or maybe you're thinking about like, oh, maybe I can use this in my own game, or like if you want to use it as like inspiration for writing your own stuff, like a story or something. That's fine. Like, um, just please give credit where credit is due, um and like while like you're free to use this in games and stuff, please don't try like my words copyright to me. Please don't try and pass this off as your own. Just give credit where credit is due. Okay. That's all. And anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this if you watch it in the future. And next time we'll, work a bit more on this region, on the metropolis of Kisafu, the desert of Amsu, and the encircling mountains. Which, man, I'm really liking those names. Okay, so until next time, I'm Lord Master Bernard. I hope that you're doing well wherever and whenever you are. Until next time, bye bye.